When it comes to TV finales, few moments stir as much passion and debate as the end of a love triangle. For the Summer I Turned Pretty, the wildly popular Prime Video adaptation of Jenny Han's coming-of-age novels, the burning question throughout Season 3 wasn't just whether Belly, played by breakout star Lola Tong, would choose Conrad Christopher Brinny, or Jeremiah Gavin Castellano, but whether she might reject both brothers altogether. In the weeks leading up to the finale, social media was flooded with anxious commentary. Fans dissected every teaser, clip, and interview, with many voicing fears that Belly would choose herself, instead of pursuing romance with either Fisher brother. But Lola Tong, who's embodied Belly since the show's debut in 2022, doesn't quite understand the panic. "I saw people saying, what if Belly just picks herself? Like it was the worst-case scenario," Tung recently told reporters. "But to me, that wouldn't have been a bad thing at all. Why are we so afraid of seeing a teenage girl choose herself, her own growth, and her own happiness?" Why choosing herself sparked such fear among fans. Part of the show's massive success lies in the Team Conrad versus Team Jeremiah dynamic, which has driven online discourse to a fever pitch. The Fisher brothers aren't just love interests, they represent different ideas of first love, stability, heartbreak, and risk. To fans who spent 3 seasons emotionally invested in the triangle, the possibility of Belly walking away from both relationships felt like a betrayal. "People wanted payoff," one fan wrote on X. "We've waited years for the decision, she can't just say, me." Others feared that Belly, choosing herself, would leave the story unresolved, robbing the finale of its emotional punch. After all, Jenny Han's original trilogy ended with Belly picking Conrad, a decision that has shaped fandom expectations for over a decade. Lola Tong's perspective. Still, Tung is adamant that Belly's independence should never have been viewed as a cop-out. "From the start, Belly's story has been about growing into herself," Tung explained. "Yes, there's romance, and yes, people are rooting for one brother or the other, but ultimately it's a story about her coming of age. So if she had chosen herself, that would have been a strong ending too." Tung also pointed out that audiences tend to hold young female characters to impossible standards. "We don't really question it when male leads focus on their own journey or career or future," she said. "But when a girl does it, suddenly it feels like she's letting everyone down. I don't get that." Her comments shed light on a deeper cultural conversation: how much pressure society puts on young women to define themselves through relationships rather than personal growth. The finale that was. For fans who haven't binged the finale yet, Belly does in fact make a choice, and it's not herself. The series stayed relatively faithful to the books, while still adding its own twists and lingering uncertainty throughout the season. But Tung stresses that the ending isn't the only thing that matters. "Even if Belly chooses one brother, that doesn't mean she hasn't also chosen herself," she said. "She's learned a lot about who she is, what she deserves, and what she wants for her future. That's choosing herself too." The weight of fandom expectations. The actor also admitted that she feels the intensity of fan investment in Belly's decisions. "It's a lot of pressure because people care so deeply," Tung said with a laugh. "But at the same time, it's really beautiful that fans are this passionate. They love Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah so much. They want to protect them." Indeed, the Summer I Turned Pretty has become a cultural phenomenon, especially among Gen Z viewers. On TikTok, edits of Belly with each brother rack up millions of views. Threads on Reddit break down dialogue and symbolic moments as though they're sacred texts. For Tung, it's all part of the ride. "I just hope people can also appreciate the journey. It's not only about who Belly kisses at the end. It's about everything that leads her there." Jenny Han's influence. Series creator Jenny Han, who also wrote the best-selling books, has echoed Tung's sentiments in past interviews. Han has repeatedly emphasized that Belly's story is ultimately about self-discovery. "When I wrote the books, I always wanted readers to feel like Belly had agency," Han has said. "The romance is a big part of it, but the bigger part is her realizing she gets to decide." It's no surprise that Tung and Han are on the same page. Tung often credits Han for guiding her performance and reminding her that Belly's choices don't have to be perfect, they just have to be hers. Beyond the love triangle. Another reason Tung doesn't fear Belly choosing herself is that she sees the show as bigger than just the romance. "It's about family, friendship, grief, growing up," Tung said. "It's about all the messy, complicated parts of being a teenager." Season 3 leaned heavily into themes of loss, change, and identity. Belly navigated her parents' expectations, her friendships, and her lingering guilt over Susanna's death, all while balancing her own dreams for the future. Even if she had walked away from both brothers, Belly still would have had a full story, Tung added. And honestly, I think that's powerful. What this means for fans. Still, Tung understands why fans wanted a romantic resolution. It's a love story, and people love love, she said with a grin. That's part of why we're here. But she encourages viewers to see beyond the surface. If you walked away from the finale just thinking about who Belly ended up with, maybe watch it again. Look at how she grows. Look at how she learns to stand up for herself. That's the real win. The bigger picture. In the end, Tung's comments challenge us to reconsider how we consume love stories on screen. Do we demand closure at the cost of character growth? Do we panic at the idea of a girl prioritizing herself? For Tung, the answer is clear. Belly choosing herself would have been valid, beautiful, and real. I don't get why people were so afraid of that. It's not an ending to fear, it's an ending to celebrate. Conclusion. Lola Tong may not understand why fans dreaded Belly choosing herself, but her insight offers a refreshing reminder that young women's stories shouldn't always hinge on romance. Whether or not Belly ultimately picks Conrad or Jeremiah, Tung believes the real victory is Belly learning to pick herself along the way. And maybe that's the true heart of The Summer I Turned Pretty, not just summer love, but the courage to grow into the person you were always meant to be.